26.
So, thinking back to all your Yulari experience, you think it might be useful information to know what type of tree this is. But every time, like every metric you use to try to pin it down, like, oh, it's a fir, it's an oak, it's not. Every time you think it's similar to something you've seen in a book, you find something that disproves it or sets it aside. Like the leaves are too broad or the wrong shape, or the bark runs at the wrong angle. And the only conclusion you draw towards the end is that the tree is a construct. It's not meant to be any particular type of tree.
Okay. Is it internally contradictory, or are there like different parts that are different types of trees, or is it just as a whole?
It's like, imagine somebody knows 300 different kinds of tree and wanted to invent a new one that could not be identified as any of the 300 he already knew.
Okay.
So you say Alex learned it's kind of most likely a construct. Is there anything odd about the wood for the branches I cleared away?
What are you doing to try to figure that out?
Just look at it. Look to see if it's got like a normal looking wood grain.
It's like a twig. When you pick it up, some leaves have fallen onto the floor/wall.
Hey,
looks like a tree.
Seeker.
Yeah.
How is it that you get around illusions once you think that they're not real?
You believe that they're not real? Usually?
I want to believe that this tree is not real.
Okay. You believe that real hard.
And yet I'm still sitting in the branches?
You still are.
This is some pretty non-real hammock mounting stuff, I'll tell you that.
Well, it's not in the branches. I think our only two options are to either, one, start digging, or two, burn down this tree. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't super want to set a big fire in this extremely enclosed space.
I mean, I think Scrappy would do a pretty good job digging. He has a badger.
And he's got special eyelids even.
Yep. He has special eye shutters for digging.
I'm going to cast Detect Magic as a ritual on the tree.
I'll order Scrappy to start digging his way down and try and avoid damaging any of the roots on the way.
Does he actually have a burrow speed?
No, it's just, I mean, it's just his shape is that of a badger mechanically. I don't think he gets any advantages to it.
Okay.
The thing is if the tree like tries to crush him, then we're just out Scrappy.
It's a massive metallic creature with, steel claws and all that fun stuff.
So, if Scrappy's going, you kind of have two options.
Mm-hmm.
To dig down to like the right, where Scrappy is now, or to the left on this side.
Okay.
The difference is if he goes to the right, he's going to be kicking dirt back up behind him, and it will eventually fill in his own hole. Whereas if he digs to the left, he'll be kicking dirt up onto your guys' platform.
Let's do on the left then.
And Gus will start like clearing dirt away, taking it back towards here.
Okay. So Gus and Scrappy are working on this for 10 minutes while Florian is casting Detect Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Florian, it will not surprise you to learn that the tree is magical.
So while they're doing that, I'm actually going to cast Identify.
On the tree?
Yeah.
Okay. It is a magical construct that is designed to look and appear and behave like a tree.
Alright. So it's a tree. It's just a magic tree.
And I'll say Scrappy can dig about... I feel like I actually calculated this once, because I feel like my people used badgers to tear up part of the Tomb of Horrors at one point.
Athletics of +8 if that's relevant at all to your mental math.
I think a foot per minute sounds pretty reasonable.
Okay. So that means by the time they're done with those rituals, he'll be about 10 feet down.
So he could have gone down to about this far. And the further he goes, the more difficult it is because the roots are closed in around him.
To not damage the roots.
And the further down he goes, the more and more moist the soil gets. Until he gets to about this level, it's like he's digging through fistfuls of mud that he's throwing back up and is splattering against the tree trunks and Seeker's dumb hat.
Oh no, that's why I'm way back here in the branch.
Yeah, that's why I'm up above everything in the branches.
Okay.
Just keep going, Scrappy. Until you hit stone or find places the roots are impassable.
And he eventually does hit stone about 5 more feet down.
Okay.
Here.
And I'm pretty small, so I'll go ahead and take a look down his tunnel.
Okay. And do what?
I mean, I'm just gonna look at the stone that he's exposed here and see if there's anything different about it compared to the rest of the chamber.
Okay. No, the stone actually looks... Well, it's the tile, not really stone.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Stone
Tile
tiles.
of the walls. Make a perception check. Because Scrappy has a light source, yes?
I have a coin on me right now. I sent Scrappy back up.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I'm going to go ahead and flash a genius that. So 8, 10, 14, 15.
15.
15.
15 will do it. Getting down here, squeezing through the gnarled tree roots. You're glad that your group has gnomes in it, because you have no idea how those fat-ass half-elves or tieflings or whatever they are would squeeze down through here. Even Scrappy has great difficulty maneuvering because the roots are so tangled.
As wide as he is at this point, right?
However, you see one of these gnarled roots has very different coloration to it. You couldn't have noticed it without some form of light. And looking at the root and following it, it's difficult work, but you can follow the twist and tangle of it back up here where it joins like the main mass of tree roots.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Well, if you want to try doing some tree chopping, I'd recommend starting at this point.
And so you point that out?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if there's any other roots that are a different color from the rest. Should I do an investigate for that?
What's your light source?
I'm using the 5-foot coin.
Okay. You find it. Well, you find the one that Alex points out.
Yeah.
And it's gnarled and it twists all the way down to the bottom here, and it joins the main mass. And then right next to it, you see a second one, but it's heading down the opposite direction.
And I'll call back to Alex. I say, Alex, there's a second one of those branches or roots leading off. You might want Scrappy to dig that one out too, and then the two of us might have to crawl down there.
Oh, do you think it's another simultaneous thing?
It's happened before.
All right, let's. Does anyone have a bucket or something? We're gonna have to start doing something with this dirt.
The difficulty is going to be digging a second tunnel without filling in your first.
Gus is going to pull his pot helmet off.
Okay.
And flip it over, and he'll fill the bucket up.
Wait, hold on.
Actually, better idea.
I have an idea.
Give me your bag of holding. Is what
That's what I was about to suggest. I'm going to take all the stuff out of the bag of holding, load it onto the pack saddle, take the pack saddle off of Scrappy, put it in here, and then we'll load the bag of holding up with dirt.
And I'll take my bedroll and lie it over this tunnel so that any spare dirt just falls onto that rather than falling back into the tunnel.
You're gonna have to actually sit there and babysit.
That's fine. I'll
that
sit underneath it.
and get very, very dirty.
Oh, that's fine. I have prestidigitation for that.
So after another several minutes, Scrappy does indeed dig a second tunnel down this side. And if you follow it down, you're able to follow this discolored tree root all the way to the bottom to its end.
All right. Well, I'll head down that one if.
Yeah, and I'll
I'm
head
gonna
back
look
down
like a
this one.
switch or anything, or maybe just pull on the root.
Pulling on it doesn't seem to do anything. What are you trying, Seeker?
I'm just crawling down to the end and looking to see where the end of the root is.
Well, right now it's just kind of dangling in space because
Dirt.
Scrappy has removed the mud and the dirt all around it.
Yeah, I'll grab that root as well, and maybe if we pull simultaneously, I don't know.
Yeah.
Pulling doesn't seem to do anything. Just
Maybe
shake some
try
mud.
and twist it or bend it.
Both of you make a strength check. Opposed.
Sorry, did you say opposed?
Opposed strength check.
This is gonna be a real low roll.
That's gonna be 12.
You beat me. I got a 3.
So, Seeker, you're playing around with this root, pulling it, dangling it, and suddenly it wrenches counterclockwise. with great force to the point like it torques your arm around. Alex, all you've done is take your end and twisted it clockwise a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll shout out, whatever you just did, Alex, keep doing that, and I'll just try to go with it this time.
Okay, I'll continue twisting it like that.
Okay. Make opposed strength roll. Lucius, give me a perception check, please.
Yep.
14 versus 0.
0.
Same things happen. Alex, at this point, you've twisted yours all the way around, 360 degrees. And Seeker, it's like it's slipping in your hands as you're trying to move it the direction it's going. It's like you're having no effect on the situation at all.
Okay,
Lucius,
that's a
from what
20.
you can see dirt being kicked up violently at the main mass of tree roots.
I'll call that out and say, whatever you're doing is shifting the dirt up here.
See what's shifting it.
Do you still have a
Sorry,
detect magic, Florian?
Yeah, detect magic can still be up, but it's not going to give any new
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just knock some of this dirt aside as they're shifting it, trying to clear whatever's holding it.
Yeah, I'll continue
Whatever's
turning.
shifting it up here.
Here's what's happening, Lucius, is you see, as the dirt's cleared away here, you see where these two discolored tree roots that Alex has pointed out previously somewhat interlock underneath the tree. Difficult to see in the main gnarled mass, but what's happening is one of them is rotating, and the other one is trying to lock it down, but every few seconds, the one that's being rotated is slipping out, and it's causing them to clack together. You think if they're both rotated the same direction at the same time, there won't be so much interlocking. They might move together smoothly.
Alexander, try turning it the other way.
Okay, I'll do that.
So Alex is now turning it counterclockwise. What about Seeker?
And I'll keep turning it the way I was.
Okay. And at this Seeker, you note a major difference. Now you can move it under your own power. And Lucius, you see the two of them moving in harmony now, grooving together, like interlocking teeth on a cog.
Mm-hmm.
And nearby in the tree, a small broken branch is unscrewing itself from the trunk as the two roots move. And eventually...
Gustavus, catch this so it doesn't land on my head.
No, it's in front of you, coming out of the trunk.
Okay.
And after a moment, the branch comes all the way out and falls down into the soil.
You just knocked a branch loose up here. Pick up the branch, take a look at it.
Picking up the branch and looking at the end of it, you notice that it's hollow inside. It's made of wood, but it's been hollowed out. It's got a spirally pattern. And then looking at the tree itself, you see where the spirally pattern matches up where it's unscrewed of. But in that center of that recess is a diamond-shaped glass chip.
I found the glass chip, guys.
Good work.
Good teamwork.
You want that one, Lucius?
Well, that'll be my second one, so sure.
How many of those prestidigitations you got, Seeker?
Well, I've got to clean off my bedroll first. I'm not sleeping on this. But it's somewhere in the range of infinite prestidigitation.
Works for me.
Are we done with tree?
Yeah.
I think we're done with tree.
Okay, let's carefully save tree is number 6.
Hey, Alex, speaking of infinite, you know how there was that theory that maybe we were entering different worlds rather than going back in time?
Entering different worlds rather than going back in time. For when? Oh,
For
during the yeah.
So if there were infinite versions of us in all these infinite worlds, and we could manage to change our way of thinking such that we're all of us doing good, does that mean we're doing infinite good?
I think that's a question for Florian.
Yeah, Florian looks lost on thought at that. There's one problem with your assertion, though, or with your thesis.
Okay.
How are we defining good in this instance?
Look, all I know is across all these infinite worlds, the triple point of water doesn't seem to have changed, so that suits me just fine.
Song?
Yep.
Song?
Yeah.
Standard operating procedure, get all our equipment back in order, send Scrappy in 6 seconds early.
Okay.
Help, I guess. Maybe it's an acid song.
A song of acid and lightning.
The Song of Acid. All right, let me make sure we're going into the right one here.
Man, George R. Martin's gone real crazy.
Yeah, once he ran out of the basic energy types.
It'll be fine though. We'll just get through about like 2/3 of the chamber, and then it'll end.
You know what I should do? Instead of having this thing as a revealer, I should give like the compass from Zelda or something.
That'd be useful.
Yeah.
I mean, who would
You
ever
don't
think
wanna
of such
do
a
that.
who would ever think of that idea? That's so ridiculous.
Coming into this room, same features as the previous rooms. You still got the divots in the floor, the tiles on the floor and along the walls. However, you hear beautiful singing in the room. The singing sounds to each of your ears as though it's being sung in your native tongue. It is extolling the virtues of whatever it is you as an individual find virtuous. Singing the great deeds of whatever heroes you may have known during your upbringing. It's a very calming tune, and more to the point, it's very nice to have the floor under your feet again.
Seeker hears it extolling the virtues of outsmarting whatever awaits them, and he goes, "Oh, right, standard operating procedure for sirens," and covers up his ears.
Gus starts.
So you cover up your ears, and you realize the song is not audible, because putting your hands over your ears does not drown it out.
Scrappy, do you hear anything?
Scrappy does hear something. Unfortunately, he can't talk, so he's not able
Right.
to explain to you what the song sounds like.
What is Whisper here?
He starts scrapping his paw on the ground in the exact tune of Pi.
So you do have, there's a pillar here in the center of these tiles that runs all the way from the floor to the ceiling. That's smooth to the touch. It feels like it's made out of the same material as the panels.
Huh, this is the first chamber we've seen that's large enough to need one of those if they can only be 10 feet wide. That's interesting. Something scrappy out here.
And
Does
we-
the song change at all as I move through the chamber?
Only in that its melody and the words change as it goes, just like any song
It doesn't
would.
like I sound like I'm getting closer or farther away from it at any point.
No.
What
Okay.
would Florian find virtuous?
It's a very mysterious song.
Huh.
Annoying people with philosophy.
What does that mean?
Does the song contradict itself every 5 seconds?
Ballad of a fellow named Redemption is what Lucius hears.
So it doesn't take
Gus
long.
this year show tunes.
It doesn't take long to find just the borders of the area. But nothing else seems out of place here.
Alex will start singing along with his song.
Okay? Alex starts singing along. And the rest of you, his song is so discordant with yours. I need everybody to make me a wisdom saving throw. Seeker, you can make this at advantage.
Does that include Alex?
No.
Okay.
It would include Scrappy, though. Well, no,
Okay.
because Scrappy doesn't do anything you don't order him to.
14.
What kind of saving throw is this?
Wisdom. We're
Wisdom.
looking for a 15.
Oh,
Pass.
That's a pass from
Pass.
me and Whisper.
So everybody but Florian?
Florian, take a +5.
okay,
Flash.
that works.
Okay. So when Alex starts singing along with his song, it's so discordant with the rest of you that for a moment you can't feel yours anymore. And it's extremely, like, Alex has committed a grave offense. Seeker, the effect is somewhat lessened on you, because you and Alex are both gnomes. You had similar-ish upbringings from the point of view of having gnomes as parents, but there are still differences in how your childhoods went and the things that you revered and came to love and choose as a career. And those differences have never been more magnified than when Alex started singing this song and you realize it goes against the current of your own. So, Seeker, you like 40% hate Alex, and everybody else like 80 to 90% hates Alex. But then everybody realizes this is one of the magical effects of the song as you all pass the saving throw. And nobody actually wants to murder Alex.
Cool.
Except maybe Scrappy, but Scrappy can only do it if Alex orders him to.
But there was that twinge of
Scrappy's
anger,
fine.
huh?
There was what?
Interesting. There was a twinge of anger and offense, right?
Yes, and I mean, for Lucius's point of view, because you both were nobility, you both raised in the shadows of your parents, but the difference between you coming from a Tiefling household and him coming from a gnome household have just been magnified. His song is nothing like yours. Alex, do you continue to sing?
Does it seem to have any?
That,
I mean, I'm
that's what
kind
I'm
of
looking
looking,
for.
like trying to see if anyone says anything to me, because like
Yeah.
obviously I can't talk to you right now.
Lucius will.
Seeker just kind of like makes a hand motion like to keep going as he
Okay.
looks around to see if that caused anything to start changing.
Yeah, Alex will keep singing.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
Florian is examining this pillar that goes from floor to ceiling.
Okay. It's a pillar, goes from the floor to the ceiling.
Ah, okay.
Fascinating.
Yep, that's a pillar, all right.
This is the only odd thing in this room, right? It's the only thing standing out. So
Yeah. I'm gonna reach out and actually touch it.
Okay, you do.
Take
It's-
hold of it.
feels like the same material that makes up the tiles of the wall, except it's you can't quite get your hand all the way around it. It's too broad for that. But it seems
Alex-
cylindrical.
So Alex is going to come over to where you can see Seeker, and he's going to start moving his hand in time with the music and kind of motion for Seeker to see if we can get Seeker to sing along, since he seems to have the most commonality with his song.
Yeah, and I'll do so.
Okay, let's get a wisdom saving throw from everybody. Alex, make this at advantage.
And to be clear, I'm trying to get Seeker to sing my song, not his song.
That's a fail.
Nope.
Fail.
Fail, fail.
14. What was it? 14 or 15?
It's 15.
I think that's a fail. Yep.
Did everybody fail that?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, Seeker, do you start singing along?
Yeah.
Your song or his song? Well, you know it's not. You don't know the words to his song. You don't know how it goes.
Yeah, I'll sing mine. I'm trying to like do the parts that are the closest to his, but I'll
Well,
I'll do mine.
you're either singing your song or you're not.
mine.
Okay. So the same thing happens, only this time the more Seeker sings, the clashing with Alex's song is ridiculous. It's so discordant. But the more Seeker sings, the more you realize how alien and how other he is. To the point where the only way you're going to finish your task here successfully, whatever it is to first remove Seeker from the equation. Seeker, as you're singing, you see Alex kind of reach down for his firearm.
Which just pulls his scepter.
Gus and Florian also reach for whatever respective weapon they think is most effective.
All right, I'll stop.
And Seeker stops. Now, it doesn't end the song in your head. You still hear it there. But the effect fades away on the four of you. And you feel this jolt when you realize what you were doing.
Yeah, no, that wasn't cool. So
So Alex will stop singing,
And you all don't hate Alex at all now.
and Alex.
we're all hearing different songs, yeah. So
Let's try singing, but like not the song that we hear. Like let's pick like a and
A
like
single song.
like, yeah, let's pick
Same
like
song.
I'll just like suggest some like bar shanty that I know. Like, let's sing that.
I feel like Gus has come home singing drunk often enough that we should all know at least one of Gus's songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try and sing along with Gus.
So you all start singing this
Alright.
song about how you lifted up her skirt and got slapped. And there's 83 verses, and you know all of them somehow. It's the longest song in existence.
89 bottles of beer on the wall.
It's a lightest harpstring special.
The gay in Lucius is cringing.
What, would Lucius not slap somebody if somebody lifted up his skirt?
I mean, he probably would because it's really fresh.
Give me a charisma check. All of you.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you a charisma check.
9.
Give you a charisma check all over your face.
6.
6.
20.
Okay, I have,
13.
20.
so I have a 20 and a
Lucius, go
13.
ahead and take another +5 in Flash of Genius.
What does that bring Lucius to?
That's a 20. With the +5, that puts me up to 25.
So I have a 25 and a 13, is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Takes a few minutes, because you've all heard bits and pieces of this song, but not the whole thing. And it's difficult to sing a song against the grain of one that you're hearing. And for a moment, you feel the song of the place pushing back against you, making it even harder. But you persevere, you push through. And after a while, the song you hear in your head fades away, and the bawdy, problematic song that Gus is singing floods the room more and more. And eventually, that's the only song you can hear. Florian, Lucius, and Gus, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, I'm better at these at least.
7.
7.
15.
14.
Gus, you fall prone.
Yeah.
As there's a very loud crack sound as the pillar in the center of the room suddenly descends into the floor. A good 10 or 12 feet, very, very quickly. And the sound it makes when it strikes the bottom of the shaft is enough to startle you, and Gus falls over backwards as though he were actually drunk. And now everybody can see up his skirt. Lucius and Florian, on your side of the
Nice.
pillar, you see a portion of it's cut away, about 10 feet up off the ground. And inside the portion, you see a small diamond-shaped glass chip.
Lucius plucks it out of the thing and then helps Gustavus to his feet and places it in his hand.
And I put it in my pocket.
Okay. What's next?
Very bawdy.
It's a bar favorite.
Is it?
Let's keep going because we got to get all these.
Yep.
I like
Gotta
that
catch them all.
the
Gotta
song
catch
that
'em all.
connects the 5 of you is a bawdy barroom.
It's the first thing that popped into someone's head, I guess. Something that couldn't possibly destroy us.
I mean,
Up her skirt, huh? Gus?
Well, look, you have to admit, as terrible as it is, it's still in my head. So it worked for that purpose.
It's so
Yeah.
catchy, a dungeon caught it.
This is a mage's tower. This isn't a dungeon. We're investigators, not adventurers.
I think this is definitely a gray area.
Maybe
Does our
Vladislav
insurance
was
cover
right.
this?
So at this
We have
point in the day,
insurance.
the sun is starting to set. You probably have another hour or so of daylight left.
we're over 50% done here. I think that's a good stopping point. We've got 6 more whole days.
I'd rather use our time smartly, and I don't think we've used a whole lot as far as resources go.
I feel like we could use. Well, I've used up a ton of resources. I don't know about anyone else. I feel like we got at least one more in us, though.
Yeah.
Going into number 8, Crank.
Let's do a nice even
Rank.
number.
Let's get a little bit ahead of the curve.
Okay.
Yep.
It's gonna be Jason Statham in here.
just running at you with a chainsaw.
We'll have to shock Seeker back to life. Seeker, you gotta keep running.
There you go. You enter this room the same way as you entered the previous ones, and what you notice immediately is that nothing stands out at you. Same kind of features as the rest of the rooms have in common.
Excellent.
Let's take a look down here.
Looking down here, you can see around the corner. And there's a dead end. But on the dead end is another fresco on the wall. It's not nearly as fancy as the angel and devil one you saw previously. It just looks like a crank.
Like a crazy person or like a...
Got a painting of a mechanical crank here.
It's not attached to anything. Just looks like the kind of crank where you grab the handle and...
It's just a fresco. It's not painted like the other ones, right?
It's down around this corner.
It's not an actual crank. It's not a physical object. It's just a painting on the wall.
Yeah, I'm with you, Lucius.
Going up around this corner, this is what you see. So the painting of the crank, it's not connected to anything. It's just the kind of lever where you grab and you crank it. You can see one on the side of a well or one of Gus's girlfriends.
Gus is just back over here humming the 87th verse.
He's still singing.
Girlfriend, huh? Okay.
All right.
Girlfriend?
This
Does it
pillar
feel like
looks the same as the one in the previous room did.
I'm wondering if it's the exact same, and this one can turn as well. Want to give me a hand here, Lucius?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Well, that last one didn't turn. It's like it fell downward into an empty space below the pillar in the floor.
It's just wanted us to stop singing. It's
This one though, I let's try turning it as though it was being cranked.
Okay. So you grab hold of it and try to twist it this way and that, and you cannot get it to move.
What if I were to provide them some mechanical advantage with like a big wrench kind of thing?
You get in there with a wrench.
Yeah. Well, I might have to hack something together with my smith's tools, but
Okay, and you
given the size of it.
get a wrench of the correct size and angle, and you put a fulcrum in there, whatever that is. And nope, you cannot turn or twist this pillar.
Maybe there's something up with that fresco?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go check.
I'll
over here.
remove the wrench from the pillar.
Okay.
Thinking too. But it's a fresco, which means this is painted directly on the wall.
It's painted directly on the wall. Looks like a simple crank.
Well,
Florian tries to touch the crank?
Well, you're touching the wall. And the crank is just a painting on the wall.
Okay.
What's in that alcove that Gustavus is standing in?
Floor, wall, and ceiling. And a divot in the floor that's shaped like a diamond.
let's try to clap if you believe in fairies it, and close our eyes and try turning a crank anyway, even though
All
it's
right.
just a painting.
So if this chamber
Alex,
were
stop.
a crank,
You get to about here, and you hear a sound like a... like you've turned a rusty crank one full rotation.
I'm gonna walk. I mean, I was gonna suggest something very similar. I'm gonna walk a circle around this.
And every time you walk a circle around the pillar, in that motion, you hear that sound again.
I'm going to suggest everyone put their hand on this wall and push, but yeah, let's just start doing some
I'm
laps.
gonna match
Yeah.
his stride.
Seeker hears that from over here, and he keeps doing the motions in the air because he thinks he's doing it.
So Seeker's standing there with his eyes closed, just really
Yeah.
happy.
It started at the same time. He's like, "Man, I got this one."
Florian nods in approval.
Yeah.
Lucius matches Alexander's stride as
Gus.
he's moving around.
Yep.
As they're running circles and you hear this cranking sound, you see part of the wall tile first move backwards into the wall and then slowly slide to the side, opening up a small cubby area inside of which sits a small diamond-shaped glass chip.
I'll grab it, but I'm gonna watch and see how long it takes everybody to stop doing what they're doing.
Did the sound keep going?
The sound does eventually stop once the cubby is all the way open.
All right, then I stop and slap my hands together. Job well done.
Lucius is
Start heading
coming
north.
back over here doing the same exact thing.
Nice work, everyone.
Good
Yeah.
team.
Who's taking this one?
I think Seeker deserves that one.
All right, I'll take it.
I think Alexander deserves that one.
Why?
All right.
Alex will just shrug.
Rock,
There's plenty
paper,
to go
scissors.
around.
I'll just hand it to Seeker.
And are we done with Crank? I'm not gonna lie, I thought it would take you guys a little longer to get that one. I thought you were gonna be on Crank for a minute.
So we still have about an hour left in the sunlight. As we step back out, we're like, "Yep, nailed it. Puzzles are done."
Crushed it.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have to actually physically push the room around too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Hike around over here to ice.
Ooh, ice is the one I was not looking forward to.
I don't know if I want to do ice.
We got to.
You have ice,
I would,
armory, swamp, and elevator.
I'd say if we want to do ice, let's make this the last thing we're going to do before we set
Yeah.
up camp.
Yeah, so we go in there with the mindset of burn all your stuff if you gotta.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going into number 9 ice.
Burn is because we're going into the ice room.
That's a good point. Before we go in, Seeker lights a torch and just holds on to it. Might be cold in there.
Okay.
I have burning hands.
Okay, good. For a second I thought I
It'd
had
be
messed
cold
up
if
this
I
map.
light you on fire.
So we're up here now. And you have another one of these pillars in the room. This room, however, it's still made out of quote-unquote tiles in the floor, in the walls, and in the ceiling. The divots are unchanged. They're exactly the same as they have been. But the actual floor and wall of the area are made out of translucent blocks of ice. And you can look through each one, and it's so clear. It's like looking through some mass of crystal. It's beautiful in a way, but it's also exceptionally cold. Seeker, you are holding a torch, yes?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, Alex lights another cigarette and continues on.
Yeah, let's look. Maybe we'll be able to see it. Melt a path.
In this maybe south wall here, it looks like maybe a foot or two beyond the sheet of ice, you can see the diamond chip frozen into the wall.
Apply heat to ice.
Florian side eyes Seeker and the torch.
Alex
Yeah,
will
give it a
take the
shot.
torch. I've got a mount on Scrappy for a torch.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's
Florian,
on
you
his
just do
butt,
it.
so he needs to back up there.
Oh, no, Florian, if you're going to go for it, go ahead. I'm fucking around with Scrappy.
What are Lucius and Gus doing?
Kind of standing back watching this.
Okay.
Because it seems like a torch would be the easiest way to handle this.
I can
Gus?
firebolt it from here. I'm
So-
not. I'm saying I could. I'm offering.
So who's actually approaching the wall with torches?
I mean, okay, I was just
I
letting
assumed-
Florian.
I assumed Seeker was going to do it, but
I was.
Florian wanted to observe.
Everybody thought something else was going to do this.
I mean, I
Well,
was going to
someone-
put the torch on the mount we have on Scrappy and take off the lantern and then send Scrappy next to it.
Yeah, that was. Once you took it from
Okay.
me, that's what I assumed.
Okay. I mean, you're holding the torch next to the wall, and it will work eventually. But one torch versus this much ice. I mean, eventually
Alright,
you'll have melted
so
a
if
hole
I
in the wall that
punch
you have to
the
push the
wall-
torch into.
So if I
mean-
punch the wall, crack my knuckles on it, can I cast Hellish Rebuke as a part of that?
No, because the wall's not attacking you, doofus.
Fair enough.
Can I just? I'm just gonna cast firebolt at the wall repeatedly.
Okay. What's everybody else doing while he does this?
Just be careful once you knock enough of it out, because you don't want to shatter that thing with a firebolt.
How dumb are you guys going to feel if you get, like, all of these chips and then one of you break one?
I don't know. How dumb would you feel for letting us do that?
Gus, I wouldn't
Yeah.
feel dumb at all. What are you talking about?
See, if
Yeah.
Adrix were here, he'd be sucking on one like it was a pacifier.
Launching fire bolts at the ice wall. It is damaging it quite a bit. At first, cracks start appearing, and then the wall itself begins weeping as the heat of the repeated fire bolts hit the area. But it becomes clear that you're going to be doing this for a while in order to get through this much ice. Is that the intent?
I mean, Scrappy doesn't have to rest.
We could literally leave Scrappy in here overnight.
I'm gonna attempt to while that goes on, I'm gonna attempt to detect magic to see if the ice itself is magical.
Okay.
Florian just flatly looks at Gus and says, "We both have burning hands."
Well, get my badger out of the way then.
Like,
Okay, fine.
Are you casting detect magic as a ritual or just casting with a spell slot?
As a ritual, just while he's firebolting.
Okay. Obviously, the ice in the room and the air and everything else is magic, but you also sense powerful evocation magic from off to your left.
All right, I'll go investigate that. I'll say magic coming from over here, guys. When you say left, do you mean like left?
I'm
my
assuming you're
character?
facing south right now.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go.
So when you
examine over
turn,
here.
you don't even have to move over there. Just looking over there, the more
Yeah.
damage they do to this wall here, ice is forming up in a wall that would block off your passage back to the circle.
All right, and I say, guys, you might want to cool it with that for a bit. There's ice
Cool
forming
it.
over here.
oh,
Oh. See, I thought you were just making a dumb pun.
That is Seeker's favorite.
What?
Florian holds off on the.
But noticing that the ice is itself magical, I'm gonna head over there and I'm gonna attempt to dispel magic the ice.
Okay. You cast Dispel Magic.
Anything?
No.
I'm gonna start shooting firebolts at this wall.
Okay.
Does it start melting?
It does indeed. And the more you start damaging and melting this wall, ice
Ice.
crystallizes and forms over the hole you were blasting in the south.
Is this pillar ice?
It's the standard tile pillar.
Sorry, it's okay.
Yes. It probably has a thin sheet of just frost over it just from the temperature in here.
The
Oh,
tiles on the floor are also ice, or are they tile?
They're ice.
Can I look through them to try and see if there's another one of these teleportation devices anywhere else in the room, like underneath some ice?
Make a perception check. And where are you standing when you do this?
I'm gonna survey the whole room. I guess I'll just start here and work my way around.
Work your way around where?
So like, you know,
Okay.
just around the circumference of the room.
You don't
so that-
see. What was the perception?
9.
A 9. You don't see any features looking through the ice. It's extremely clear ice, but there are imperfections here and there, and eventually it becomes opaque. And it's difficult to tell at what depth that happens without digging through it.
now let's think about this logically, though.
Okay.
We can blast through that ice anyway. That is forming when we try to get the crystal thing.
Uh-huh.
So we can just continue. We can grab the crystal thing and just shift from attacking this wall to this wall.
I'm worried we'll freeze to death at some point.
Okay,
Well,
so here's my suggestion. Okay? Alex didn't want to be in here anyway, so we leave Scrappy in here with the torch right next to the ice. You leave him instructions to stand there until that's free to grab it, and then come over and start melting that, and then just come through.
I don't know that one torch will do it.
No, that definitely not. Because what would happen is eventually the torch you're holding there would melt
Probably
the wall enough
extinguish.
to where you'd have to hold the torch closer and closer. Keep in mind, a torch does not have infinite fuel in it, and if you're holding it next to a wall that's weeping ice-cold water, it will eventually become extinguished.
Okay.
Also, here's my worry, and it's an extension of the worry from before, is that we melt this wall here with torch, and eventually there's going to be a wall over here blocking this entrance, meaning there's no more air over here.
I don't know how much these chambers seem to need air.
I need air. Seeker, raise a hand.
We need.
I mean, so far, they seem a little illogical, like that one with the tree.
I'm just assuming there's some sort of airflow through the teleportation circle. That's
Air
my
close
assumption.
to eyes? I guess an air elemental can.
Every time the air blinks, it comes through.
I mean, no, I agree. I think that if this door closes, if this, alternate reciprocal door closes, something very bad will happen. I don't know if you're gonna run out of air or get frozen solid or what. But I completely agree with the sentiment, if not the exact execution.
I'm gonna
So-
see if there's anything else I was missing with the detect magic before it runs out. Just examine the room.
Nope, not particularly.
So question.
Yeah.
So the wording of prestidigitation says you can chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material.
Okay.
If he warms up 1 cubic foot of ice, how long will it take for it to melt?
I'm going to say prestidigitation wouldn't be strong enough to melt solid ice like this.
Okay.
I mean, you can quote-unquote warm the ice to the point where it's warmer than other ice, but it's... with a cantrip like that, that's not specifically dealing fire damage, I would say you can't melt it.
So
What if? Sorry, go ahead.
well, here's my
Stupid.
thought: is we need to get to this key, and we need to get to this shard, and that's the only thing we need through this wall. If we attempt to melt our way through, we're going to need to melt a pretty big hole in order to get to that side, because you're just going to naturally melt whatever's around it. What if we heat up some sort of metal? I'm sure you have some, Alex.
Oh, yeah.
And just push it through this wall to get to the key? Then I can levitate the key, we can pull it out.
If you give me some time with my Smith's kit, I can probably get a piece of a metal iron rod red hot. But I'm going to need some fuel maybe from the forest outside.
Sure, so this can be like in a tomorrow morning sort of thing.
Yeah, I could even do this before, if we want to do this tonight before sundown. But yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
Well, luckily, we know where a giant magic tree is. We can cut down for timber.
Can I go logging?
Sure, why not?
Because whoever owns this tower would probably be very upset if we.
They
Smash
made
the
the tree.
shit.
They can make another. Fine.
Also, if you set up rooms full of puzzles and people come up with an outside-the-box solution to them, I think they'll give us a pat on the back.
Unless you're just one of those people that gets like I didn't like you just get angry because yeah.
Out of character, this guy is a Modron. He would be so angry if we went outside the box.
So what's next?
He'd be so mad.
Yeah, I'm okay with, like I said, I can probably get my Smith's kit set up and actually, make an iron rod that's the right length, about an inch wider in diameter, red hot, and then we bring it into this room and just plunge it through there.
All right. I think
So we're
that's
to go
I think
outside
that's a
and
good one.
get some materials to assault this wall?
Yeah.
Alright. Let me make sure I
You-
save this map properly.
You get the heat metal spell, don't you?
Oh, I could just prepare that tomorrow too, you're right.
So we could literally just
And we'll go ahead and call it there for the week. So when we come back next week, we will start back in with your master plan at solving, well, quote-unquote solving. Room number 9, ice.
I thank you for generously calling it a master plan. It does show that you care.
Now, I had actual mechanics for the wings puzzle, but the dumb shit you guys started doing was so much more entertaining. I felt like, we'll just let this go the way it's going, and that was so much more fun for me. So
I'd be really interested to see what the mechanics were.
maybe someday I'll take those mechanics and repurpose them.
Fair enough.
So there were actual rolls to do, and that was way more fun. All right.
Let's see where this is going.
Nodal, first time he's like, I cast Misty Step. I'm like, oh, okay, it's one of those rooms. Sure, let's let him do this. All right, so you guys got through 8 of the 12 statues, which is not terrible progress. I am awarding 250 experience per completed statue. So 250 times 8 divided by the 5 of you. Everybody's taking
70,000.
400 experience, except for Florian, who just sassed me. He can take my balls. So 400 experience each for clearing the way.
Hooray!
Math was not my strong suit.
You don't math well.
I think alcoves was my favorite.
I had a lot of fun with that. That was. I
feel like
I won. I won that room. I
You
won
did.
it.
You did win the room. I feel like I was going to. I was like, I'm going to win this room, and then nope, I won the wall.
I get a 60-foot movement speed and I can dash. So
I'm going to step away for 2 seconds if you guys want to think about how you want to make a case for your blips, and I will be right back.
Oh, right. Those things.
creative. Like I think I just put forward my nomination for myself for creative, but
We all had it.
gladly to defer to someone else.
I feel like
No, I'm fine
everybody.
with that. Let's go on.
Party
Are
goals.
you? Yeah, for the party's goals today. I would say that Florian managing what was it? Wings. I think Florian did a good job managing that.
Okay.
Badass. Who's a badass today?
I'm going to say Alex for. I had something, I lost it. You're gonna have to bear with me. So if you have something else, go for it.
So for intangibles, I want to nominate Gustavus for surrendering his gay card.
I wanted to nominate Gustavus for having that song.
Exactly the same reason.
I was gonna put forth for guessing the snake, but yeah, that's fine. So badass. What did I have? I really had something and I don't remember what it is.
I mean, I threw out a lot of bonuses to saving throws and skill checks.
I'm good with that.
You did. I'm good with that too.
That works.
And think about your personal blips then.
All right. Who wants to go first? Well, I guess I should set up a straw poll first.
Florian will go first.
Bear with me 1 second. Florian, what you got?
I got two. I got ideals are infinite truths. We must experience as many as we can and figure out their validity for running up the Flumph corridor, even though it was dangerous, and Lucius was already ahead of him. There was no reason for him to do that, but he did.
I liked the idea, though, because what I thought you were doing was, as long as I'm in this alcove, everybody else can duck in here.
Yeah, that's what I thought I was doing. And flaws, there's no such thing as a lie for fully believing that his terrible solution involving Mirror's room actually worked. Just break everything.
It's a good solution.
Oh, it was fantastic.
It's probably for the best that you guys didn't actually do that, though. Is that it?
That's it.
Who's next?
Gus will go.
Gus, what you got?
I've got 2. I've got my ideal. My companions are my support structure, and I must do what I can to protect them from themselves. For going through first on the snake, and with the excuse that I'm okay if this I do pretty well if the snake spews acid, and then there was an acid spewing snake, so called it. And flawed drunk Gus says hello for hitting the wall and then just giving up and drinking.
Fair.
And then the videos for the uploading all those one shots we did.
Yeah, it's only worth 1 blip.
Darn, I was hoping for like 4 or 5 there, but oh well, I'll settle for 1.
Who's next?
I can go.
Seeker.
All right, I've got opportunities everywhere, if you can see it, for using Florian leaving as an opportunity to remove all the shards so that I can cast Locate Object. I've got anybody can be fooled except for me for casting all my spells to avoid Gus because he wasn't giving me enough time to solve that puzzle. To stare at the wall.
Is that how Seeker sees it?
Uh-huh. Well, it's how he saw it.
Fair enough.
And Chaotic Good is only taking from those that can afford it. Chaos is taking them for all they're worth. For going through the rooms systematically one by one, because we're definitely doing every single room to make sure we get everything.
But no actual treasure yet.
You don't know. There could be like, you put them in at the end.
What do you mean I don't know?
No.
I invented the dungeon! Listen, if you find something that I didn't know was in there, I will be flabbergasted.
I'll pull it off. You wait.
He found a spell jamming proficiency.
All right,
Nice.
I can go.
Go ahead, Alex.
I just had one. I'm sure we can handle this for his very strong willingness to just fiddle around with that snake and just force the trap open and subject his companions to acid.
Okay. That just leaves Lucius.
I've got knowledge is paramount for being very distressingly intrigued by the devil painting fresco. And then double or nothing for, like, I saw the numbers that you were throwing out for the sonic damage on alcoves. Flying headfirst into that was probably not the smartest idea. That's why I was trying to make sure I had enough movement to get into an alcove every time.
So you're saying I should have placed the alcoves further apart?
Yeah, no, that would have been.
So if I run this dungeon again, put them 80 feet apart instead of 10 feet.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that
gotcha.
definitely makes sense.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
Give 1 blip for the most creative solution to a problem this week. I think we have many creative solutions that are potential candidates.
Who did we decide on?
It was
on that
Lucius, but which I said I nominated myself, and
I think just for the flying.
Yeah, for the flying. You kind of trivialized that encounter. Made everybody
Yeah, a
else
little bit.
look like a fool.
A little bit, yeah.
1 blip for who furthered the party's goals the most.
That was Florian?
For managing the demon and angel puzzle. Party management.
Okay. Who was the badass?
That was Alexander for his constant use of inspiration to potentially keep people from failing saving throws.
And 1 for intangibles.
They gave that to me for the shanty.
For turning in your gay card.
Man, you can enjoy a song.
It's true.
You have a very fragile homosexuality if you can't enjoy a good drinking song.
And Alex
That's fair.
has our straw poll this week. I mean, there's lots of gay stuff that I like.
Yeah,
Like-
we were going over this. Like, don't trust straight people.
I I can't think of anything right now, but I'm sure there is.
You like McDohl?
Okay, so I've got. Right now, everybody has 6 blips except for Alexander. You cashed all yours in to level up last time, so you went into this session with 0. Is that correct?
No, I had 4 on my sheet.
You had 4. I had 0.
Maybe I had to cash them all in. Then let me.
You're thinking of Florian.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I had 4 left after I cashed enough to level up.
Yeah, Florian cashed all of his in the level up.
Oh, I'm wrong across the board then, because I had 6 for Florian. So, Florian, you're supposed to have 0 going in?
Yeah.
And then the other 3 had 6?
Well, no, I had... Yeah.
Okay, so Alexander, you had 4, you just earned 3.
Yep, so I get 1 free XP.
What are we, level 7 right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Blips are worth 366 experience points. Florian had 0 and just earned 3. So Gus, Lucius, and Seeker have to cash all theirs in. These are rolling over. Gus is taking 4, Lucius is taking 3, and Seeker is taking 3.
Okay.
And when we pick this up next week, we will figure out the ice conundrum. Maybe that's what Treble can title the video. We'll see. I kind of hope that in one session, you blow through like 8 of these puzzles, and then you have one session where you spend 4 hours on one of them.
I have a feeling that might happen. Not gonna lie.
Third session, come back in. All right, so thanks for playing, guys. I'll see everybody next Sunday.
Yep.
Thanks for watching at home.
Later.